Here's the question of the hour. Do I have the microphone on? That's an old-fashioned DFD, School Leadership Madness question. So if you give me a moment, I'm going to hit a button and see if I can hear myself. And if the echo causes some trans-dimensional stuff to happen, then, well, it's been nice knowing you. It's working! Dimensional stuff. Okay, got it. We're good. You can call me Dr. Stephen Strange, or Jenny Durden, or Bonehead, or... Doesn't matter. Just don't call me late for dinner. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. So, I remember last time I got baked, and we split into a bunch of different people. That was a good time. I think it actually went well. We were able to articulate some things in that state that are a little bit more cumbersome to handle when we have to do everything one at a time. So I think we're still going to proceed with that. I think that's still going to be a thing. But I had a thought, and I figured I might as well just scratch it out. So I was on Instagram, like you do, looking at pictures of being people, being cute or whatever. And then I was struck by the phrase, fake it till you make it. And so I think this one will actually be kind of quick if you've seen our playlist, there's some longins. However, what is it that we're supposed to fake until we make? Well, if we use make as a euphemism for pooping, we don't want to fake it until we poop. My apologies. It is so inappropriate, to do this, but I'm spinning plates here. We're good. Oh, it was just my phone letting me know that I'm doing this right now. Okay, I'm turning this off. I was expecting a thing, and you know what? We don't always get the things we expect. So what is it that we're faking? So I think all too often people have it kind of backwards. And they wear fancier clothes, and they'll go rent a car that they can't afford. And in the male on female dating scenario, and this isn't all across the board, but this occurs often in this, where dudes are like, I gotta impress the chick. And then they'll go rent a bunch of shit or buy a bunch of shit they can't afford. And that doesn't count as faking it till you make it. Because they're like, one day, I'm going to dress like this, and then someone's going to be like, hey man, you're one of us. Negative. The minute you can't clear the check, they're going to be like, you can go ahead and fuck yourself. Bye! So what's the thing we got to fake? What are we faking? Well, you're not supposed to fake that you're better. You're not supposed to fake that you're not a thing you are. You're supposed to fake that this is okay. Yep. See, it's not about pretending you're a billionaire until all of a sudden you have $1 billion. Because that's not how anything works. At least most things don't work. I mean, I did give that speech about if you want to be an artist, just put it on your business card. And that's true. There are a number of things you can just go pursue. But I think in that last bit we talked about right effort and stuff. If you're busy trying to park a bus in a motorcycle spot, it doesn't matter how much, I'm sure you'll figure something out that you'll say counts. But it ain't gonna fit. It's not gonna be it's as I'm saying it, I'm like, I don't like this one. No, you're supposed to pretend that this is okay. And not okay that, if you're being abused, if you are suffering a thing, that part, yeah, that's objectively not okay. That part sucks. But it's okay that you're receiving it. It's not okay that you're going through it. That part, we can all say, I don't like this. But it's perfectly okay that you're the target of it. And I'm trying to be careful on how I say this, because I'm not saying, it's good that you got cancer, because it sure shit ain't. But it's okay that you're the one who got it. It's not because you're a shitty person It's not because you've sinned. It's not because, oh, I should have ate this, or, I mean, probably could have smoked a few less things, or what have you. Depends on what you got going. But ultimately, like, this just happens if you're a human long enough. Things go haywire after a minute. It is hard to keep this thing moving. Boom. So you have to be, what you're pretending is not that you don't have cancer. What you're pretending is that you're fine with having cancer. And you know why? Because that's the thing you want to fake till you make. Because you can sit there and pretend you don't have cancer all you want and then just die. And that's not fun for most people. Then we got to book a funeral, and we got to get a box, and we got to dress you up. Ugh. It's a thing. Or you can pretend you're okay with the fact that you're suffering and there's things you have to do about it. You can go, I guess this is what we're up to. But then that's how you get through. Not pretending that this isn't happening. Not pretending that you're not suffering. And not pretending that you deserve to suffer, that you've incurred some ancient wrath, some sin that's passed down from mother to child. That's horseshit. That's not true. You may be encountering some stuff because, like, your grandma was a dickhead once. Or, karma does that, where somebody slaps a kid in the face, and then, you think a butterfly effect. They say, oh, a butterfly flaps its wings, and then a hurricane happens somewhere else. Well, imagine what happens when you slap a baby in the mouth. Holy shit, kids. That karma expresses itself for generations and generations until someone's like, ooh, maybe we ought to not pop these things in the mouth, because their heads are wicked soft. So you don't have to pretend that, like, oh, this is fine that these people are assholes. Oh, this is fine that I'm suffering. Oh, like, you don't have to pretend that the slings and arrows of great misfortune are awesome. But you also don't have to pretend that you did something special to get them. Because if you've ever seen, probably like a good depiction of this would be like in any sort of medieval movie where there's an army faced up and then there's these archers. And yes, ultimately, each of those arrows has someone's name on it. And that name is pre-inscribed on there. Just all the things that led to today and all the things that are leading to tomorrow, they're starting to meet at this point. And so effectively, it doesn't matter if you move left or right. That's already been accounted for in some crazy process. And it's coming at you. It just is. So it's not that that arrow has your name on it. It's that arrow has that set of location, that coordinate on it. And you're just going to waltz into them coordinates. And that's regrettably what is happening. It's not that the universe is targeting us. It's that life is a minefield. And we're stepping on mines all the time. And we have to pretend that that's okay. Not that it's okay that people are hurting. Not that it's okay that these things are out there. But that this is normal. And this is doable. Because if we make all of our problems these big monsters, and we create these fantasies to defeat them, it builds this much bigger space for your brain to go play. And you have this giant kingdom now. It's Lord of the Rings style. It just goes, and there's languages, and these guys do that, and those guys do that, and this is that, and that's that, blah, 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 blah. When ultimately, the thing you're avoiding is usually just like a that's the funny thing about, like, big, vast, like, actual conspiracies. Conspiracies where human beings, not talking about, like, what if that happened? We're past that. I'm talking about where people are actually conniving and scheming and trying to get things done. And it's because they're trying to hide something. That's what conspiracy means. A bunch of people working together to hide some stuff. And then usually maybe plan a thing or two. But usually the things they're hiding are so stupid. Just dumb. I need to get more detail. I won't repeat it, but I heard a really interesting hypotheses on the JFK assassination that basically boiled it down to like a workplace accident. Which, as far as conspiracies go, I'm like, you know what? That one kind of checks out more than like where there were communists and Nazis, and then the Cubans, and then the Dutch, and I think there was a pirate ship involved, and then there were some gangsters, of course. Like, who didn't try to shoot this fella? But then in this other one, they're like, well, they heard a shot, somebody popped up, safety was off, they accidentally cleared around, and, well, it cleared some other things. And you go, oh yeah, I've seen that happen. Not like pull someone's melon off, but I've seen people accidentally discharge a firearm before. And yeah, you'd be surprised how many people die right after the word, oops. Ruh-roh. Butterfingers. Raining fire. Yeah, it's a good thing I was never in, like, nuclear ops, because I'm clumsy. I'll be like, ooh, shit, we're at war, fellas. That's my bad. I was trying to reach for my cigarettes, and I nuked a country. I thought we had to have two buttons pressed. I know somehow I hit one with the elbow, one with the finger. It's a thing. Sorry, I got big arms. Yeah. It's good I just cooked, where I can just like, I dropped the fucking chicken. I'll go make more. Boop. There you go. Or actually, depends on how much chicken we got left. Then it's like, to the SpaghettiOs! Da-la-la-la. You gotta fake it. You gotta pretend. But, mindfully. You have to be aware of what you're doing. Because you're practicing a thing. You're not faking it because you have no intention of becoming this. You're faking it in your mind because you don't have the confidence to think you can actually do it. And so you're like, I can do it. I'm trying to think of that. There's a book about a train, and he gets all confident and it helps out. It's terrific. It's a great book for kids. But Little Engine That Could. Booyah. Get some. Hoorah. Yeah. We're awful and fantastic at trivia. So you've got to fake. If you don't have the confidence, I think that's the thing you got to fake. And I know, for me personally, confidence is a huge issue. You'd be surprised for somebody who, like, puts their face out there as much as I do. And I don't do it that much. It's not like I'm marketing. It's not like no one knows who the hell I am, except for the people who do, which I kind of like. So sometimes, apologies, gang, if you're new to the crew, but with dissociative identity disorder, some of the more motive forces in my noggin, the ones that are capable of motivation, I have some that are they just do stuff the way, like, I don't know, like your Roomba would. Or just, okay, he's in bed now. Stuff like that. But some of the motive forces can get, like, iffy on what we're talking about, and some of them can get personally offended by stuff, and it's a whole thing. And then they can just put the brakes on things. And then I have no idea what we're talking about, because they're like, we're done with this. And this, the person you're seeing, is mostly, like, it's an authentic person for the most part, but it is a bit of a projection, in a sense. It's a bit like if you went to see, like, a sketch group and there was, like, a chorus, like a narrator type, or like Our Town, kind of, sort of. I mean, I don't know. It's odd. It recognizes itself as itself for, like, practicality purposes, but it's, who cares? Anyway, faking it. I have to pretend that's fine. I have to pretend that all that stuff I said is, yeah, you know, what you gotta do. Shit happens. You know. I have to be okay with all of the horrific shit that got me those. Because ultimately, if I don't, I'm wasting all this other time avoiding all the good stuff I could pay attention to. Because when you have a threat in your life, when you have a perceived threat, much of your body is going to dedicate its time to handling that threat. Because it's important. Because it's a threat. It's an issue. And a big chunk of your body is dedicated to not dying. And so it doesn't matter if the threat is immediate. You're a lot of chunks of your body be like, oh, slippery slope. Let's just cut it here. So you're pretending that you're not sensing these things. If you have anxiety, that's a great one because the environment is just electric, and you're sensing everything. And then, the hell was that? It's the compressor on the fridge, like it was the past 20 times. But you're still gonna. It's a thing, and you just have to be like you're pretending that that's normal, because it is actually. There's so many thousands, probably millions of people who have all the same things you do, and we just don't talk about it because we were told it's rude. And you know why we were told it was rude? We were told it was rude because it made emotionally immature people uncomfortable, and we've been coddling these dopes for ages. Fuck them. I was watching a streamer earlier today on Twitch who, I'll give her a shout out, Nagasaki. She's super cool. I'll try to remember to put her in the thing there. She's real nice, and she's going through some shit, and she's kind of. Her stream was interesting because it wasn't a ton of people. It was like 100 or so it was a lot. But like, it seemed a little bit more intimate, and she was just going over the sort of shit she's going through, and debating on whether or not she should discuss that with people, and like, oh, I don't want to like make it about me, and it's like, well, one, it's your stream, so too late. It is about you. Which is fine. That's, as much as I don't want this to be about me, there's a big portion of it that has me in it. So I have to be cognizant of that. Like, if I'm bringing value to this, I have to be aware of that and, like, be appreciative of that value that I bring. Because if I want to keep making this, like, you got to know what you're dealing with, Try not to get cocky. But if it's worth $1, charge $1. If it's worth $2, charge $2. Understand what you're worth. Anyway, they're like, oh, I don't know if I should this, that, and the other. And I'm thinking, well, you're a single mom. I think she's a single mom. Struggling, going through some shit in the middle of a pandemic, dealing with chronic mental health conditions expertly. She may not believe so. She feels like she's being moany and groany. But she does this thing where she manages, because she's a very attractive lady, and she does like body paint and stuff, and I think she has a bit of a, I wouldn't go as far, like, I wouldn't quite say erotic, though I think she's done some stuff. Like, she plays in that territory sometimes, so she's very creative, and she's very aware of like the things she can do, and she's also very aware that like she's in charge, and so that's one thing I really like about her stream and why I like following it, because one, I love stealing her makeup ideas and some of her outfits. But two, she wrangles these nerds. Me too. I'm a nerd in there as well. But, there's beautiful people. There's all kinds of crazy people. But then every now and again, you get somebody who's like, boobies, boobies, booby. I mean, and let's be serious. I think we've all been there. Maybe. I don't know. But there's 13, 14, 15-year-old kids on there who are learning for the first time how to express themselves in that vocabulary. And so it doesn't go well often. And so I tend to follow e-girl streamers just to check in on them who are super good at dealing with these dorky kids who are, I love them to pieces because I was one too. They're like, do you want to hold hands maybe? And then we can... No, what? Why would I want to drive to another state to hang out with a preteen? But no, they're sweeties about it the whole way through, and they're rough when they need to be. They're like, hey, knucklehead, that's not how we fuck around here. And you're like, ooh, mama's got him by the... And that's the kind of thing I sent her a note on that same line because I don't think she recognizes. I think she's trying to she's upset that she can't put on the veneer that she'd like, which I get. As an artist, you want things to look a certain way, feel a certain way, be a certain way. And I think maybe she feels hobbled by this because she's got to take breaks. And I'm giving too much of her shit, but I'm not saying, well, I said it earlier. But anyway, so I'm going to stop because that's not fair. Go check out her stuff if you're interested. The point I really want to make about that is that they're already doing the things they want to do. How do I do this right? They were already doing it right. Just by talking about it. What's the right way? Am I too open? Am I too honest? Am I this, that, and the other? No, you're spot on. Whatever you feel needs to be expressed is probably the thing that needs to be expressed. However that goes in the room is their problem. But more people than not are going to dig it for its authenticity, for it's this, that, and the other. So people can tell if you're faking it. But they kind of can't. They can tell if you're faking it if you come in with a fake watch and the fake clothes and the, talking about shit you don't understand. But so many people lack the confidence. So many people lack leadership. So many people lack self-respect, self-care, that they are in awe of it. And they can't really tell that you're faking for a long time. Until, you tell them 20 years later. And they're like, wait, what? You were freaked out that whole time? Oh, yeah, panicking. Almost shit myself at least 4 times. They have no idea. Because they're blinded by that light. So just lead. Be you. Be different. Be crazy. And the thing you're pretending is not that you're not crazy. You're not pretending that you're not sick. You're not pretending that the world's a perfect place. What you're pretending is that you are expertly prepared to handle it. Because you're one of us. You're a human. And you're going to be able to nail it as well or as poorly as the rest of us. That's just how things kind of go. As much as we advance and expand and become these things, if you go read through history, it's the same thing. There's still invitations to birthday parties. There's still people fighting. You would be surprised how many ancient Roman lunches still have notes from the missus in it. There is no difference. The only difference is that we're here now. We're doing this now. Whereas they did this then. And they'll be doing this later. So we're not faking that we're some superhero. We're not faking that the world is different. We're just pretending we're okay with it. Enough that we can be. We're not overjoyous for suffering. But we also don't realize that the end of the world, we also recognize that the end of the world is not the end of the world. Even if you blow up our planet, there's still somebody out there. That's a bit bleak, but the slings and arrows are coming, and you can handle it. So the thing you're faking is just keeping your chin up. That's what you're pretending. Yeah. So, that's been me beating a dead horse about fake it till you make it. I appreciate you hanging out if you hung out. This one's been brief, and brief is pretty good. We're under a half hour, and that's kind of nice. So, what I'll do is just a quick round, if you don't mind hanging for a sec. I'm just going to run you through a few other projects we got going on, just so you can check out some art and some other streamers, and it'll be quick and in a hurry. So, let me show you real quick my mentor on Twitch, Laser Daddy, and he's being accompanied in this, because I'm a big fan of music, by Twin. And I forget what they're singing, but anyway, just check this out. It's a fun illustration, and yeah. Additionally, if you want to check out another fun podcast, some of my buddies from high school, a lovely couple, have a fun podcast called the Creepy Cabin Podcast, where they review all kinds of creepy things like movies and TV shows and stories and books and you name it. And then every now and again they kind of bleed through a little bit with what it's like to be a mom and dad in this time. And they're nice. They're real people, and It's a good time. So check out the Creepy Cabin podcast, available wherever you get podcasts. There's also a project I've been working on, a comic book called Father... Oh. I forgot to adjust my levels, gang. I'm terrible at that. This is on Instagram, if you want to go check it out, is Father Means Well. It's a comic book I'm working on about a space marine of the Universal Church of Truth's missionary marine fleet, which is crazy. But he is a soldier, and a very devoted soldier, as a little priestly soldier might be. And he's at the point in his career where that's not paying off as much as it used to. And this is some of that. So check it out. I really enjoy doing the illustrations, and a lot of times I'll go on Twitch and stream myself drawing it and just rant about little techniques and what I'm up to. So if you want to watch some drawing or learn how to draw or get a head start on the book, check that out. I got one more and we'll close it down. Ooh. Here's your girl. On Twitch, that's who I'm streaming under as Jenny Durden, who is Jenny Durden. And you can find me on Instagram at who is Jenny Durden as well. There's also the Deployed from Detroit Instagram. But we don't do a whole lot of marketing. We don't do a whole lot of the things you're supposed to do to run a successful program. I'm pretty sure there's a reason for that. Oh yeah, we're nuts. Well, gang, it's been swell. Remember, fake it till you make it. And remember to pay attention to what you're trying to fake and what you're trying to make. Are you just trying to make people go, oh, that looks nice? Or are you trying to make your life better? Because you can do both. But one actually works. All right, gang. Adios, amigos. This has been fun. Compulsive speech. Hoorah, we're out.